Ethan Cole never thought that his work would bring him into the royal palace of another world. He was a quiet man from Earth, an engineer who liked to build and repair things. After joining the Galactic Alliance, he was sent to Varelia Prime, a bright planet covered with crystal cities and blue forests that glowed under twin suns. The people there were tall, graceful, and known for their advanced technology. They called themselves the Varelians. Humans were new to the Alliance, and even though Earth had proven strong and brave in wars, many aliens still saw them as simple creatures from a harsh planet. Ethan was stationed at a research base near the royal city. His task was to repair communication systems, satellites, and any broken machines that kept the colony running. He did his job with quiet focus, never seeking attention. The palace officials often ignored him or spoke to him like a servant, but he didn't care. He just wanted to do his duty and maybe, when his term was over, go back home to his family. One afternoon, while working in the palace gardens to fix a damaged signal device, he saw someone standing near a marble fountain. She was tall, with silver hair that shimmered like water in sunlight and eyes that reflected pale violet light. Her gown looked as if it was made from light itself. Everyone in the palace had spoken of her. Princess Sarathia, the only daughter of Queen Liranel. She was known for her calm face, proud manner, and distant heart. She rarely smiled. Ethan froze for a second, unsure if he should bow or step back, but she spoke first. Her voice was calm, clear, and full of authority. "You are the human engineer?" she asked. He nodded quickly and introduced himself. She looked at him for a long moment, her expression unreadable. Then she pointed to a small box on the stone table beside her. "I was told this is one of your world's objects," she said, "but I cannot make it work." Ethan stepped closer carefully. On the table lay an old, scratched music box, something made of simple metal and wood. He recognized it immediately. It was a human design, likely left by one of the first trade envoys. He picked it up gently and examined the mechanism. It was dusty, the gears slightly bent, but the craftsmanship was old and honest. "It's a music box," he said softly. "It plays a tune when you wind it." She tilted her head slightly, curious. "A device that only plays sound?" He smiled faintly. "Yes, it's not meant for work or defense. It's made to make people feel something. Happiness, memory, peace." Her eyes narrowed slightly in confusion, as if she couldn't understand why anyone would create something that served no practical purpose. Ethan cleaned the inner parts, fixed a few misaligned gears with a tiny tool from his kit, and wound the handle gently. A soft melody began to play, slow, gentle, and full of warmth. The sound was small, but in the quiet of the garden it filled the air like the voice of a memory long forgotten. The princess froze. Her violet eyes widened as she listened. She didn't move for the full minute that the song played. When the melody ended, she looked down at the box as if it was something alive. "Why does it sound like that?" she asked quietly. Ethan hesitated. "Because someone made it with care," he said. "Humans make things like this to remember moments or people they love. It's just a simple gift, really. But it holds feeling." She didn't answer right away. For a long moment, she only looked at him, then at the box again. "You may leave it here," she said finally. "I wish to hear it again." Ethan nodded, left the box on the table, and bowed slightly before walking back to his tools. He thought the moment was over. But that night, something unexpected happened. When he returned to his quarters in the base near the palace, he noticed strange news spreading among the staff. The princess had ordered the palace to play the melody from the human music box throughout the royal halls. The sound carried through the corridors and gardens, mixing with the soft hum of the city lights. Every servant, guard, and advisor heard it. Some said it was haunting. Others said it was beautiful. But everyone whispered the same question: why was the princess so moved by a simple human object? Ethan couldn't believe it. He never meant to make a scene or attract attention. He had only fixed something broken. But by the next morning, royal guards came to his quarters and told him that Princess Sarathia had requested his presence again. When he walked through the grand marble gates, hundreds of eyes watched him. Many Varelians looked at him with curiosity, some with disbelief. Humans were still considered newcomers in the Alliance, strong but primitive. To see one summoned by the royal family was unheard of. Inside the great hall, light streamed through tall crystal windows. The princess stood beside the same table where the music box rested, still playing its tune. "You came," she said softly. There was something different in her tone now. Not cold, not commanding, but thoughtful. Ethan bowed respectfully. Yes, Your Highness. I only came to check if the repair held. She looked at him again, her eyes searching his face as if trying to understand something invisible. This sound, she said slowly, makes me feel something I cannot describe. My people create art, light, energy, but none of it feels alive. How can something so small carry such emotion? Ethan didn't know how to answer at first. Then he said, because humans don't build things only for use. We build them to keep memories. That melody could remind someone of a home they miss or someone they love. Maybe that's what you feel too. A memory you didn't know you had. Her expression softened. Strange. Your world is considered harsh, your people wild, yet you understand things my court has forgotten. She paused, her voice quiet. May I keep it? Ethan nodded immediately. Of course. It's yours now. When he turned to leave, she called out one last time. Ethan Cole, she said. You said this is a simple gift. Yet I believe it is not simple at all. He smiled faintly. Maybe it only seems simple until it finds the right person. That night, the sound of the music box echoed again across the royal palace. The courtiers whispered that something had changed in the princess. Some said her steps seemed lighter, her gaze warmer, but none knew why. Only Ethan understood that sometimes even a small human gift could touch a heart beyond the stars. And far above, as the twin suns set over the shining city, the melody drifted into the night. A quiet bridge between two worlds that were never meant to meet, yet somehow had begun to understand each other. The next morning, Ethan woke up early. The melody from the music box was still echoing faintly across the palace grounds. It had become a new sound in the air of Virelia Prime, a soft human song that no one could stop thinking about. Even the guards who once mocked humans now hummed the tune under their breath, though they didn't understand why. Ethan didn't expect to see the princess again. He thought maybe his work was done. But before he could finish his breakfast, a royal messenger appeared at his door. Princess Sarathia requests your presence in the royal observatory, the messenger said. Ethan was surprised but followed quietly. He didn't know what the princess wanted this time. The observatory was a tall dome made of glass and silver, where one could see all the stars above the planet. When Ethan entered, the princess was already there, standing beside a large telescope, the music box playing softly on a table near her. The light from the twin suns glowed around her, making her look peaceful and distant at the same time. You came, she said when she noticed him. I was not sure you would. I didn't want to be rude, Your Highness, he said. But if I'm being honest, I don't know why you asked for me. Sarathia smiled a little, the first small smile he had ever seen from her. Because I have questions, human. About your kind. About why you make such things, she pointed at the music box. This small object. It changes everything I feel. I don't understand how. Ethan thought for a moment, then walked closer. Humans build things from emotion, he said. We don't always make them perfect. We just try to make them mean something. That little box, someone probably made it for someone they cared about. That feeling stays inside it. The princess turned the box in her hand slowly, studying every detail as if it was more precious than gold. My people do not build things like this, she said softly. We create only what is useful. When I was young, I asked my tutors why we never make things only for beauty. They said beauty is waste. But now I see, maybe it is what keeps the heart alive. Ethan nodded quietly. Sometimes the small things matter the most. For a while, they both stood in silence, listening to the soft tune. The princess looked out through the glass ceiling where stars shimmered above. Do humans really feel so deeply? She asked. Yes, Ethan said. We feel everything, even when it hurts. It's what helps us survive. It's what helps us love. That's why we build songs, stories, paintings, things that carry what words cannot. She looked at him again, thoughtful. You speak as if feeling is strength. My people were taught that emotion makes one weak. Ethan shook his head gently. No, it makes you real. Her eyes softened. She looked away for a moment, then said quietly, You have given me something my whole world could not. This feeling. I don't know what to do with it. Ethan smiled a little. You don't have to do anything. Just remember it. Sometimes that's enough. For the next few days, Ethan continued his work in the palace, and each day the princess found a reason to speak to him. She asked about Earth, about human cities, about how people celebrated, sang, and built families. Ethan told her stories of music halls, oceans, forests, and laughter. The princess listened closely, her expression always calm, yet her eyes full of wonder. Soon the royal advisors noticed. They whispered behind her back, warning her that her closeness with a human might harm her reputation. One advisor even dared to speak openly. "Your Highness," he said, "the humans are dangerous. They come from a violent world. They are not like us. You should not let one so close." But Sarathia only replied, "Then you have not listened to their songs." When word reached the queen herself, she summoned Sarathia to speak in private. The queen was wise and kind, but proud of her traditions. "My daughter," she said gently, "I hear you have grown fond of the human engineer." Sarathia looked at her mother calmly. "He has shown me something beautiful. Is that wrong?" The queen sighed. "It is not wrong to learn. But remember, you are of royal blood. The eyes of the court are upon you. They will not understand." Sarathia bowed her head slightly. Maybe it is time they learn to understand. Meanwhile, Ethan was unaware of the quiet storm forming around him. He kept to his work, fixing machines and checking circuits, but every time he walked through the palace halls, people stared. Some with curiosity, some with silent disapproval. Only the princess treated him the same, with warmth and kindness. One evening, as the sun set and painted the palace sky in soft orange and blue, the princess met him again in the gardens where they had first spoken. The same fountain shimmered nearby. She carried the music box in her hands. "Do you know," she said softly, "that I have listened to this melody every night since you fixed it?" Ethan smiled. "I'm glad it brings you peace." She looked at him seriously. "It brings me more than peace. It brings me hope. When I hear it, I think of the worlds beyond my own. I think maybe our people can learn to feel again." He didn't know what to say. He only nodded respectfully. But then, to his surprise, she stepped closer and placed the music box into his hands. "I want you to have it back," she said. He looked confused. "Why? It belongs to you now." She shook her head gently. "No, it belongs to both of us. A gift that travels between hearts should not stay still. Take it, and one day, if I visit your world, play it again for me." Ethan hesitated, then took the box carefully. "I will," he promised. Suddenly, a bright flash of light filled the sky. The city alarms began to sound. An energy storm was approaching, the kind that sometimes hit the upper atmosphere of Virelia Prime. Communication systems started to fail. Guards rushed into the garden, calling for the princess to return inside. But before she left, Sarathia turned to him one last time. "Thank you, Ethan Cole," she said. "You gave me a gift I can never repay." When the storm passed hours later, the palace lights returned to normal and the world settled again. The next morning, the Royal Council made an announcement across the Alliance channels. The Virelian Empire would share cultural exchange programs with Earth for the first time in history. The project was to be named the Melody Initiative, inspired by the human gift that touched their princess's heart. Ethan was invited to attend the ceremony as the honored guest. As the music box played on the grand stage, the princess looked at him across the hall. Their eyes met, and though no words were spoken, both knew what it meant. The song that began in a quiet garden had now become the anthem of two worlds learning to understand each other. That night, when the stars shone over Virelia and the melody floated through the royal halls once again, Sarathia whispered softly to herself, "Humans are not just strong, they are alive." And far away in his quarters, Ethan listened to the same tune and smiled, knowing that sometimes one small human gift could change the heart of an entire world.